Hey, what's going on everyone, and welcome to Small Potatoes Gaming. You might know me as Neil, or you might know me as Small Potatoes. That depends on how long you've been watching my content for. But I'm currently a master rank player in Pokemon Unite, and I'm here to tell you about 6 mistakes that beginners make in Pokemon Unite. By making this video, I'm hoping that I can actually spread some awareness on what people are actually doing wrong in the game, and hopefully this will help you win more games and climb. But before that, remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you like the content that I'm about to show you. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Number 6. Fighting over roles. That's right, you heard me right. Sometimes the game ends before the game even starts. And by that, I actually mean during the character selection screen. This place is actually more important than you think, because this is the place where you declare what Pokemon you're going to play, what item are you going to equip to your Pokemon, and what role are you going to take. And more often than you like, people will start fighting over roles. This usually happens with the central area role, also known as the jungle role. This role is actually pretty popular because you get to farm up the jungle without any interruption, and you would also get more experience than other people. And if you don't compromise, or if the other player doesn't compromise, you'll have 2 guys going into the jungle sharing what was originally meant for one person, and it wouldn't work out for your team. Because when you're sharing experience like that, you're basically slowing down everyone's progress on getting their ability that they need, especially when there's Pokemon that relies on their power spike later in the game, such as Greninja or Charizard or Garchomp. So whenever you see that somebody wants to take your role, if they don't want to change it, I would recommend you to compromise. It's for the better of your team, and it's also better for yourself. Because if you're sharing experience with somebody that you're not supposed to, you're basically setting yourself behind, and it actually lowers the chance of you winning the game overall. This actually leads to the next item on the list. Number 5. Taking wild Pokemon that you're not supposed to take. This one applies to everyone on the team. It doesn't matter if you're playing in the central area role, or the top half role, or the bottom half role. It applies to everyone on the team. This still, however, impacts the central area the most, as the central area consists of 4 wild Pokemon in the beginning: the Ludicolo, the Buffalint, and the 2 Corphish. The amount of experience that the 4 Pokemon combined will give you will actually level your Pokemon to level 5. However, if let's say the top half or the bottom half takes one of the Corphish, you will actually be stuck at level 4.5, and you won't be able to get your ability leveled up. This is especially important when you have Pokemon like Greninja, where you actually need to get to level 5 in order to get your smokescreen or your double team. This is also the point where you evolve for the first time. And as a central area player, you're supposed to be running around top half and bottom half, helping the team out, getting objectives like the Dreadnought or the Rotom. So if you're behind in experience, it's actually a big problem for the central area player. But this doesn't only apply to the central area. I see a lot of times that the central area player would tend to try to get the Aipom right in the beginning on the top lane or the bottom lane before they head into the jungle. This will have the same effect on the top lane or the bottom lane, which the players that's going top or bottom will miss out on an Aipom, and they will be at a level disadvantage when they see their counterparts. So I highly recommend everyone to figure out which WoW Pokemon is actually for them to take, and leave everything else alone. Number 4. Not sharing experience. This one also comes from the last point, where people are taking Pokemon that they're not supposed to take. But this is more specific. This applies to the 2 people that's going top half or the 2 people that's going bottom half. What I mean is that whenever you start the game, when you're heading towards the middle of the map through your lane, you encounter 4 Apom total. And with the 4 Apom, you get a total of 8 points and a bunch of experience. I see this done very often where this one player will take all the Apom and ignore the other one. This is actually not a good idea unless one of you guys actually have experience share. The reason behind this is unless your Pokemon is going to carry at level 4 or 5, then you shouldn't take all of them. Especially when you have a partner that needs to level up their ability before they become useful, such as Crustle. So unless you have experience share, please try not to take all the Apoms and share the experience. It will make life much easier when you're fighting over objectives with your enemies, such as the bees, or when they want to just run up and score. If your partner does not have the amount of level that they need to level up their skill, they wouldn't be able to help you. Number 3. Ignoring objectives. Often I see a lot of beginner players ignoring all the objectives on the map and even forgetting the point of the game, and they just go wander off doing their own thing. What I'm talking about is the Dreadnought, Rotom, and Zapdos that spawns on the map, and also the zones that you need to protect and also attack. For instance, did you know that if you get the Dreadnought on the bottom side of the map, you will get a big boost of experience for your entire team and also give everyone shields? This will often turn the tide of an ongoing battle, especially when you guys are fighting over the Dreadnought. So it's not to be taken lightly. And also, players tend to forget that they have to destroy enemy zones to win the game, and they just go and chase down enemies. Then when they realize their mistake too late, they lose the game. And this leads to our next point also. Do you see where this is going? It all connects together. Number 2. Always trying to get Zapdos. I think there's many people that can relate to this, and it is also the biggest point out of the 6. I often see new players trying to get Zapdos no matter if they're alone, or if the enemy team is nearby, or even if their team is very ahead. This is actually a really big mistake, and by big mistake I mean it can literally lose you the game outright. That's because when you do Zapdos, you will potentially give a chance to your opponent to steal it from you, and if they're successful on stealing the Zapdos from you, you can actually lose the game, and most of the time you will. So you might be wondering, when do you actually get Zapdos? The answer is actually quite simple. There is only 2 situations which you will need to get Zapdos. The first situation is the simplest one. That is when all your enemy is dead and they're on respawn time. That is literally the only time that you should be taking Zapdos if you're ahead. The second situation is a little bit more complicated, but it should be done only if you are extremely behind to a point that you cannot win without Zapdos. The easiest way to do it is to try to hide in a nearby bush and try to steal it from your opponent when they try to do it. The other method is for when your opponent knows what they're doing and they just try to defend Zapdos. You will have to force a fight and hope for the best. If you win the fight and take Zapdos, then you win the game. And if you lose the fight, you lose anyway, so what's there to lose? I cannot express more on how frustrated it has made a lot of people when you see a beginner in their team getting Zapdos for no reason. So I would hope that this will bring awareness to everyone that you should not do Zapdos all the time. It's not that you shouldn't do it, it's just that you should know when you can and when you cannot do it. Before we get to the final point, I would just like to let you guys know that I am streaming Pokemon Unite all week on the weekdays from 2 PM Eastern Standard Time. And also, if you've been enjoying this content in this video, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and also consider leaving a comment down below. It helps with the algorithm. So without further ado, let's get into the final points. Number 1. Jumping right into rank. Zapdos can be often considered the biggest mistake that you can make within a single match. But I would consider by far the biggest mistake that you can make is jumping right into rank game when you hit level 6. Why would I say that? That's because by the time you hit level 6, you still have not accumulated enough experience and information to outdo your opponents. I would highly recommend all beginners players to at least go into practice mode and try out all the Pokemon. Even if you don't remember all their skills, that's alright as long as you know around what they do. And another reason that I want to point out is because you don't have access to all the battle items yet. Items such as Fluffy Tail and Eject Button or Go Getter is often quite game changing. And also I would recommend beginners to at least level their commonly used held item to level 10 before jumping into rank. And when you finally discover which build works best for you, then you can upgrade all of them to level 20. There is not much point to spend a lot of token to level everything to level 30, unless you have a lot of money to burn. But as for a free-to-play player, I would recommend that you don't spend a lot of token on upgrading yet, and just leave it till when you figure out your build. I do have to admit that I got the battle pass, but that's only for the Pikachu hoodie. So that's all for today. And remember, if you like this video, share it with your friends. And hit that like and subscribe button. Also remember to comment in the comment section down below. Let me know if I missed any mistake that you've seen and I haven't mentioned. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.